Howdy folks, Desert Boy here. We're going to take a look today at the Springfield Armory XDE in .45 caliber. Comes in this nice case here. We're going to take a little closer look and see what's inside. So let's get started. So let's go ahead and open up the box, see what we got inside. One of the things we'll note right away, of course, with any weapon is we want to make sure that or any product, we want to make sure that we've got the operation manual and safety manual right here. You want to make sure you read this so you have a full understanding of how the pistol or the revolver or whatever the particular firearm is, how it operates. So you want to make sure you read that. Inside of the box, you also find there's a cleaning brush in here. There's a lock that's in here. There's also some gun oil, and you will also find this has fiber optic sights, and it gives you the ability to replace them or change them out. It comes with red mounted in the one that I received, and you can change it to a green color if you so desire. Also, what comes in the box is you've got magazine. This one's a 7-round magazine that comes in the box, and a 6-round magazine. And this 6-round magazine, or the other one, the 6-round magazine also has a flat floor plate that you can put in place of the other magazine. That has a little trigger, a little finger extension there, if you so desire, for carry. So that also comes with it. If we get into looking at the firearm, one of the things that we're going to see in here is that it's got a chamber flag indicator on it, and we'll safety check the weapon. There's no magazine in the weapon. And before we get into safety checking it, let's just go ahead and kind of get the case out of the way here a little bit so we can proceed with what we're focusing on. Okay, so let's do a safety check on the Springfield XDE in .45 ACP. There's no magazine in the gun. See, the hammer's down right now, but there's a chamber safety flag in there. We can go ahead. There's kind of a ridge here that you got to pay attention to. So you got to kind of get past to lock it open. Once you lock it open, get that chamber flag indicator out of there. You can rest again so that it's empty. Then we can go ahead and we can lock it back. Some things about the gun: it's got a 3.3-inch hammer forged barrel that's melanite. It's about 5 inches. When you have the magazine inserted with the flat plate, it's 5.25 inches if you have which is a 6-round magazine. If you have the extended magazine in it, 7 rounds, and it adds it to 5.25 inches. It's about 6.75 inches overall, with about a 23-ounce weight. So it comes with these 2 magazines. And it has fiber optic sights, as I mentioned, that you can change from red to green, whichever way you like it, with kind of combat rear sights, which if you took a look at them, this kind of setup like this. So if we go ahead and we release the slide, we know the weapon's unloaded. This is very much in the style of like a Beretta, of mini Berettas, like a Beretta 92, or say a Sig Sauer P226, or other Sig that has a double action, single action type of setup. If you push this down, this is a decocker. Now safely decock the gun. Even if you have a round, you've chambered a round. However, it also works in this case as a safety if you flip it up, and it prevents the trigger from being pulled, even though this is a double action, single action firearm. It's got some nice grip texturing to it here. the front, on the back part of it, even. It's got a nice fit here, and kind of the beaver tail it has here. And if you go ahead and we were to take the safety off, we were to do a trigger pull. I don't have a Lyman trigger gauge, so I can't give you that information. We've checked the weapon, safe and unloaded. Go ahead and pull the trigger. Of course, the slide would rack and would reset there. Now you're going to go to single action from there, so your reset's about there. We pull the trigger again. You see that? It has a pretty decent and positive reset, audible. If we pull it again, and it fires again. If we had ammunition in it, of course. But it's set up as a double action, single action. The other thing is that you can set this up where you go ahead and you chamber around. You have a magazine in there, and you can put the safety on, and it prevents it from operating, so that it can be set up to very much like a single action, like a 1911, where you have the hammer back cocked and locked, so to speak, with the safety on and the round in the chamber. Of course, one of the differences of this weapon is with making sure your finger is not anywhere near the trigger or on the trigger. You can put this down and use it as a decocker, and you can decock this gun back to more the double action, single action setup. One of the things that's kind of nice about this gun is that if we were to put the safety on here, you can see that it's also ambidextrous, and it can be taken off there. If we were to rack the slide, we could also decock it. It takes a little practice, but you can decock it from that side, or if you had it in your left hand. For those of you that might be left-handed, there's also magazine release left and right. So knowing that we still have an empty firearm here and decocked, we put a magazine in here which is also empty. Put that in there. It has a magazine release on the right, and it has a magazine release on the left. So those are some of the nice ambidextrous features of this particular gun. Price, it was at one time MSRP $568, somewhere in that neighborhood. Usually I find it for about $500. This also comes in a 9mm, and I believe in the 9mm the magazine count is 7 and 8 rounds. In the 45 it's 6 rounds and 7 rounds. So it's a nice solution. It's 23 ounces, so it makes it a potential solution, I guess, for those of you that might be interested in carry. I have had it to the range, and it shoots very well, even 230 grain ammunition. I will eventually put together a shooting video that shows some target practice with this, and I have used also, 185 grain in it. And it performs well with anything that's been put in there. So, just wanted to kind of talk about this, give any exposure to people as aware of it. If you go to take it down, we could cover that here, I guess, in the next segment. So, what we'd want to do is make sure we have the safety on. One of the things about this as well is you can rack this with the safety in place. Take 6. So if we wanted to take this down for basic cleaning or maintenance, first of all we want to make sure the safety's on, right? In this particular one, we make sure, of course, again, nothing in there, no magazine inside of the gun. And what we would do is, remember, there's this ridge here you have to make sure you get past. You want to make sure you lock this back. sometimes is a little easier than others. And these little forward latch there swings up, and after you have that up, you can bring this down, pull this forward, the bottom portion, you can turn it over. Of course, so the maintenance that you need me to be very careful, wear eye protection, and you can take the spring out, and then you can go about removing the barrel, to do any maintenance that you might need to do with it. To put it back together, of course, you put the barrel in. Now, if you've done your cleaning or inspection, whatever you're doing, be careful once again with putting the spring in. The spring here is a dual spring with a full-length guide rod in it. And you go ahead and making sure this is up. You go ahead and slide this back on here. Watch for that ridge there. Lock this back. Put this down. Go ahead and release this. And everything should be back in operation. Of course, we can decock it and put the safety on. And if we had a magazine we wanted to put in there, we could do that. Pretty simple and straightforward operation in this firearm here. And hope this has been helpful for you. Remember, you always want to follow all your local gun rules. You also want to be safe and make sure that that you become proficient in handling a weapon or get expert instruction or guidance for that and training. And once again, this is Reed Desert Boy. I hope this has been useful for you. Once again, Springfield XDE and 45 ACP. Be safe out there. This is Reed Desert Boy. Thank you very much.